What's up guys, my name is Spartan, and in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys a guide on ultimate weapons for coin farming. So I'm going to be going through a lot in this video, so feel free to check out the timestamps for the video and go to whatever sections you'd like to after you watch this video. And one last thing, most of the advice that I will be talking about in this video is simply stuff that I personally have decided to do. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily the right thing to do, it's more or less just what I've done. So take the information in this video with a grain of salt and ultimately just do whatever you feel is best for your tower. I will not be covering the Ultimate Weapon Plus information in this video for a couple reasons, but mostly just because I don't have it unlocked. So I don't feel right speaking on it if I haven't personally unlocked it and tested it out myself. So now that that is all out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the ultimate weapons for farming. The primary 4 ultimate weapons for farming will go as follows: Golden Tower, Spotlight, Black Hole, and Death Wave. These are really known as like your 4 econ ultimate weapons. And there is a lot to unpack with each of them, and we're going to go ahead and do that right now. So if you're relatively new to the game and maybe you don't even have your first ultimate weapon, a really good option, probably the best option for you, is going to be the Golden Tower. So the Golden Tower is absolutely incredible, and we're just going to talk about what all it has to offer in the workshop, and then I'm also going to provide information about the labs, and lastly, basically tell you what I personally would recommend doing, and also what I personally did myself. For the Golden Tower, you have the option in the workshop to upgrade the bonus, the duration, and the cooldown. Bonus basically just improves the amount of cash and coins that you earn per kill. So that is very good. Next is the duration, which is obviously how long the Golden Tower activation actually lasts. Again, really good. And last but not least, the cooldown, which is how often the activations occur. So the next ultimate weapon is going to be Black Hole. So for Black Hole in the workshop, you can upgrade the size, which obviously increases the size of your black hole, the duration, so how long the activations actually last, and cooldown, which is how often the activations occur. Next is going to be Death Wave, and for Death Wave, you have damage, the actual quantity of the Death Wave waves, and the cooldown. And if you're not familiar with Death Wave, you can read off the information here, but it says it spawns 2 effect waves before unleashing a death wave that will persist until it basically deals the amount of damage that you have upgraded. So this is what it actually looks like. When your death wave goes off, it shoots the actual waves, which are what you just saw, and then it has this little ring that stays until basically you do the amount of damage, which in my case is the times 32. The 4th and last ultimate weapon we're going to talk about today is actually the Spotlight. So for Spotlight in the workshop, you can upgrade the bonus, which basically increases the amount of damage done. It does not increase the coin bonus, which we'll talk about in a moment, but it simply increases the amount of damage done. You also have the Spotlight Angle, and the angle obviously is how wide your spotlight is. And last but not least, you have your quantity, so how many total spotlights you have. So now that we have covered the workshop, everything that you can upgrade with stones in the workshop, now let's actually jump into some of these labs and talk about what's going to be really big for econ. So for Golden Tower, you're actually going to have 2 labs available, and you unlock these at tier 4 wave 200, and that is going to be your Golden Tower bonus lab, which again affects the actual bonus associated with your workshop, and the Golden Tower duration lab. Both of these are super great. So for Black Hole, you're actually going to have 4 options. You have the Black Hole Damage Lab, you have the Extra Black Hole, you have the Black Hole Coin Bonus Lab, and the Black Hole Disable Ranged Enemies. For the Black Hole Damage and Coin Bonus Lab, you unlock those at Tier 5 Wave 150, and for the Extra Black Hole, you unlock that at Tier 5 Wave 500, and for the Black Hole Disable Ranged Enemies, you unlock that at Tier 14 Wave 20. For Death Wave, you have 5 labs available. You have the Death Wave Health, which increases the amount of health that you gain through your Death Wave. You have the Death Wave Coin Bonus, which obviously gives you more coins. You have the Death Wave Cells Bonus, the Death Wave Damage Amplifier, and the Death Wave Armor Stripping. and you unlock the Death Wave health and coin bonuses at tier 3, wave 250. I'm not sure when you exactly unlock the others of these, but if you guys know and you're smarter than me, maybe just drop a comment and let me know so that the guys have that information. And for Spotlight, you're going to have 2 labs available, and that's going to be Spotlight coin bonus and Spotlight missiles. Now that we've actually covered the ultimate weapons and what all they have to offer in the workshop, as well as what labs are available, let's go ahead and talk about what I personally would recommend. Generally speaking, let's just pretend that you have a level 1 golden tower, level 1 black hole, everything is level 1. So your first priority is actually going to be what I call getting the Trinity synced. So the Trinity is your Death Wave, your golden tower, and your black hole. This is going to mean trying to drop all of your cooldowns to where basically they are all the same amount of time so that they all go off at the same time, therefore stacking each of their individual coin multipliers, netting you significantly more coin gains than you would have had otherwise. That is going to be priority 1 if you don't currently already have that. Once you actually get a natural sync, some really good stuff to try to upgrade first for Golden Tower is going to be putting some levels into your duration and your bonus. What I personally did was basically bounce back and forth between Golden Tower bonus and Golden Tower duration until basically they started getting pretty expensive. So the first thing you're going to want to do in Black Hole is actually get your size up to about anything above 38 meters. And the reason for that is because if your black hole is too small, it's really not going to suck up that many enemies and therefore not be super impactful for you. So black hole size is going to be the first thing I would focus on there. Next is actually going to be the duration for black hole. With a 25-second duration with your black hole and a black hole damage lab fully maxed, it will take 2 activations to kill the protector enemies. And those guys can be really, really aggravating, especially if you're doing Orb Devo. So now let's actually talk about the Death Wave. The main thing that you're going to want to try to do here is focus on your damage, and the reason for that is because it will allow you to basically get your Death Wave health quicker. Your Death Wave quantity is also good, but it does get pretty pricey pretty quick. So Death Wave quantity is going to expedite the amount of cells that you're actually able to get, as well as actually give you more coins by hitting more enemies with the waves. So that's going to cover Death Wave. Let's go ahead and talk about the Spotlight. The main thing that you're going to want to try to do here is get your angle as high as humanly possible. I personally would recommend getting it to at least probably 35. That's probably a good starting point to kind of aim for. Don't really worry about the bonus for now. The bonus comes into play way later on, especially for tournaments, helping you get some added damage. But the main thing is going to be your Spotlight angle. Likewise, you're really going to want to try to get at a bare minimum quantity 2 for Spotlight, because the more quantities that you have in your Spotlight, the better the chance that they will overlap with your black hole and therefore stack the multipliers. So you can see, in order to get quantity 4 Spotlight, it is absolutely expensive, but getting Spotlight 2 is not super expensive. Again, keep in mind, this is all personally my recommendation, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly what you should do. So now let's actually talk about the order of the labs that I personally would recommend. So for Golden Tower, the main one that you're going to want to focus on, especially early on, is going to be your Golden Tower bonus lab. This is going to be one of the biggest factors for your coin development, just trying to get this as high as you can frankly afford. The duration is good, but I don't think it's as impactful as the Golden Tower bonus, which is why I personally decided to upgrade Golden Tower bonus before I started upgrading my Golden Tower duration. For Black Hole, the 2 biggest ones that are going to be the most impactful. Number 1, obviously, your Black Hole coin bonus. This has been probably one of the bigger impacts for how many coins I get, is having a very big black hole with a maxed coin bonus lab. The second lab that I would recommend, and it is pretty pricey, especially for newer players, and that is going to be your extra black hole lab. I've been talking to some of the guys in the Discord, and a lot of people have reported getting anywhere from 50 to 70% gains just from unlocking this. After that, The last one that I really think is good is going to be your black hole damage lab. This has 10 levels and they're not super long upgrades and they're not super expensive. So I'd recommend just trying to get this to level 10 as soon as humanly possible. For Death Wave, the first thing that I personally would do is obviously get your Death Wave coin bonus as high as you can humanly possibly get it. Next is actually going to be your Death Wave health. This will give you a huge amount of added survivability. It also goes in tandem with your wall health. It's not just your tower health, so keep that in mind. The Death Wave health lab is something that is really, really good, and I should have got it way higher, way sooner. The last one I'd recommend, and mostly just for the cells, is actually going to be the Death Wave cell bonus. Again, same kind of thing. Trying to get this as high as humanly possible so that you can get enough cells to really speed up your research. And last but not least, for Spotlight, the obviously really only one that's going to be super impactful for farming is going to be your Spotlight coin bonus. So it's a no-brainer. But this will only do as good as your angle is upgraded in the workshop, so keep that in mind. If you have a very, very small angle or even just a quantity 1 spotlight, it's really not going to feel that effective. But once you get 2 or 3 or even 4 spotlight quantities with a pretty decent sized angle, you're gonna notice some pretty big changes. And the last lab that kind of brings all of this together, it would not be a coin farming video without this lab being in it, and that is just your coins per kill bonus lab. This will go hand in hand with every multiplier you have in the game, and it is really, really good. It's low upgrade times, it's very, very inexpensive, so just try to get this as high as you can, because this one is awesome. But yeah, guys, that is actually going to wrap up the guide today. One last little housekeeping note that I'd like to make is I currently have a stone pack giveaway video that is live. I am allowing entries for the entire week, so if you're interested in the chance to receive a stone pack, feel free to go check out that video. I will leave a link in the description of this video so that you can go check that out and hopefully enter. Likewise, we have a Discord community with almost 300 members, so feel free to check that out if you'd like to talk to me personally. I know I've gotten to know some of you guys in the Discord server, and it's just been a really good time kind of talking to you guys about the tower. And I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and like always, I will see you guys later.